Remember the visionary, operator, and processor styles? You probably know what your natural style is by now. And if you don't, you can go to doleadbook.com/quiz to find out. Well, it turns out that most of our leadership prejudices are directly linked to our underlying style. And here's what I mean. Visionaries tend to prefer broad, overarching, sweeping solutions to problems. And if there's a touch of risk involved, so much the better. Visionaries are also quite capable of living for extended periods of time with ambiguity and uncertainty. In fact, they have a subtle, sometimes not so subtle, hankering for both. All of that's fine when our visionary is engaged in their core functional activity, assuming that they've chosen a role that's matched to their visionary style. But what causes problems is when they're leading wider teams. Processors, on the other hand, abhor risk. They don't like swinging for the fences with what they see as half-baked ideas. Processors loathe ambiguity and uncertainty, and we use safe, predictable, highly controlled systems and processes as the preferred solutions to problems. Again, just what you need from your head of finance or your legal counsel, but problematic when they're leaders and it's the only approach they take to leading their team. Think for a moment about operators. Operators differ from both the visionary and the processor in that they much prefer not to be talking about any of this stuff. They just want to get out there and do it. They want to get things done. And that's a powerful attitudinal asset when your SVP of sales or head of a product installation team is doing their functional job. But again, it's somewhat restrictive when it comes to effectively leading a team. It's hard to lead a team if your underlying preference is not to waste time talking, let alone go into a meeting. What the enterprise commitment does is to remind us that the strengths of our natural visionary, operator, or processor style don't necessarily translate into strengths in leadership. As a visionary, we may need to subdue our desire to always be brainstorming, and instead, when necessary, learn to knuckle down to the hard, brain-numbing, well, for the visionary at least, work of grinding out the underlying detail. A processor needs to learn that leading involves a certain amount of risk. Processor needs to learn that if they're going to lead, they've got to cope with ambiguity at times, and that systems and processes won't always hold the answer for every problem. And operators have got to accept that if they're taking up a role of leadership, it isn't all about the doing. That leadership equally, if not more so, involves passive activities like analyzing, planning, assessing, and even, big gulp, reporting. In essence, to be an effective leader, it's vital to learn how to think like a synergist, to have the needs of the group or the team at heart, superseding our personal preferences dictated by our natural style. And so, how can I learn to adopt the mindset of the synergist? If it's my natural visionary, operator, or processor style that produces those leadership blind spots, how do I overcome them? Well, the first step, of course, is to recognize them, to spot them, until you clearly see the ways in which the prejudices and preferences that arise from your natural style are hobbling your ability to effectively lead. There's not much that we can do about it. And of course, by definition, seeing blind spots is hard to do. That's the essence of a blind spot. It's hard to see. So let me give you 4 specific tips to help you do just that. The first one isn't going to be a surprise to you. We've repeated it over and over again. Use the enterprise commitment. Use the enterprise commitment. We've already seen the power of the enterprise commitment, so use it consistently. On the page that this video is on, you'll see a link to download a credit card sized flashcard that's got the enterprise commitment on it. Download it, print it out, keep it beside you, use it at the start of any group or team interaction. Hand it out to everybody in your team. Get everyone accustomed to using the enterprise commitment, including yourself. Secondly, if you can, find a synergist mentor. There's nothing like having a role model There's nothing like seeing it in action. If you can, find someone you know from personal experience who's a synergist, someone you've personally seen lead from in front and from within with grace and ease, and ask them to mentor you in your own development as a synergist. Of course, they may not use this terminology, they may not even see themselves as that, but they'll understand what you're talking about as soon as you explain it to them. So use the enterprise commitment, find a synergist mentor. Third, use a safe word. Now, stick with me on this. Give your team permission to help you see when you're making a visionary, operator, or processor error by presumption. Help your team spot your blind spots. Help your team let you see where you're constraining your leadership. Maybe let them see this video and then make up a safe word. Have fun with that and ask them to use it when they see you default to an extreme version of your natural style. And finally, practice using the leadership toolkit. In this series of videos, we're focused on what the leadership mindset is for a successful synergist leader. In the next series of videos, we're looking in detail at what the toolkit is that an effective leader uses. And these two are symbiotically connected. Not only will your use of the leadership toolkit become more effective as you master the leadership mindset, so also your leadership mindset will become more synergistic the more you use the leadership toolkit.